Salamat datang and sawadee to our viewers in Malaysia and Thailand respectively. You are live with One Play Sports this Thursday night for match night 10 in the One Play Pro Club Challenge, where Amigos of Malaysia will go up against Thailand's OneGodLike. Amigos trying to become just the second team from Malaysia to qualify for our round of 16. As always, wherever you're watching around the world, you are very welcome. Tough times for all. Happy Ramadan to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. And remember, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're celebrating, whatever you're doing, you must remember to sanitize. Keep safe, stay home, and listen to what your governments are telling you to do. And in the case of Malaysia, obviously that news today, the PKP measures extended for a further 2 weeks. So I hope you're all safe and well in Malaysia, following on from Singapore earlier this week, extending their circuit breaker measures into June. There is plenty to get through tonight, including, not least, a fantastic matchup between the Amigos and OneGodLike. But let's give you a recap of what we've already seen in a sensational week 4 of the One Play Pro Club Challenge and what still lies ahead. Obviously, we saw a performance to end all performances on Tuesday night from Cat Nino. What about Wu Yang Ping with his 5 goals to become the leading goal scorer in the tournament, as Cat Nino, playing with 5 bots at one point in that 2-legged tie, seeing off Singapore's Densetsu by 7 goals to 0. That is now the biggest margin of victory we've seen in the competition so far. As for the Amigos, they'll take on OneGodLike tonight, and I asked my dear friend Yusuf of our gaming partners at VPG on the shocker meter what chance there was of a shock between 1 and 5, and he said 2 out of 5. So Yusuf thinks Amigos are good things tonight to get past OneGodLike. And on Saturday, our third Causeway Clash. It's great to have the Causeway Clash games on a Saturday night. X-Force United of Malaysia up against Shapeshifter of Singapore, and that's our third one of the tournament so far, and the country scores are tied at 1 apiece. So can Shapeshifter pull off a shock on Saturday? We will no doubt find out. If you're new for the first time to One Play Sports tonight, and indeed the One Play Pro Club Challenge, let me tell you what it's all about. We've gathered the top 32 teams from across Southeast Asia from 4 countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand and Vietnam, and they're all battling it out between now and June for an incredible 1,700 Singapore dollars in prize money. And we have match days for you every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. All the same time, 11 p.m. Singapore time. That's GMT +8. And of course, the only place you can catch the action is live and exclusive right here on One Play Sports. Now, let's check in with the bracket as things stand, because on the left-hand side of the draw, certainly it really is beginning to fill up. In fact, the whole left-hand side of the draw is now decided in terms of the game for the round of 16. Plenty, though, to be decided on the right-hand side as our round of 16 ties really start to take shape, and there's a couple of crackers in there. As you take a look at that top left-hand side of the draw, we know that the Rojak football will take on To The Moon. La Rojak desperately lucky to get past Ankatsuki last Saturday. Ones to watch will take on the Royal Cavaliers. The Royal Cavaliers are first winner all the way back on April the 2nd. The bottom half of the left-hand side of the draw sees those big winners, Cat Nino against Hyenas, in an all-tie clash in the round of 16, and Maximus, so far the only Malaysian team through to the round of 16, they'll take on Tiki Taka of Singapore. The right-hand side, though, is where lots of questions are still to be answered, and we'll find out the answer to one of those questions tonight. Can Amigos book a date with the VM brothers of Vietnam on Thursday, the 14th of May? We will find out very shortly. And VM brothers, another Vietnam team, were very impressive indeed. As always, if you want to have your say, you can contact us on the chat box, on the comment section on the One Play Sports Facebook page, or alternatively, if you want to have a shout out to one of your friends, if there's a birthday or a particular message you want to get across, studio@oneplaysports.com is the email address. And it's all about a community here at One Play Sports. And you know our mantra, it's LSFC, like, share, follow, comment. Like, share, follow, comment. Let me check in and see who we have in the comment section so far. I know that the Anchor Warriors are with us. It's great to have them with us here tonight. Of course, no Nitin, unfortunately, tonight. Nitin not feeling too good. I'm sure he'll be back. The notorious one. We're missing him badly. And in his absence, by the way, I've asked Yusuf of VPG for a prediction tonight, and I'll give that to you very shortly. But remember, like, share, follow, and comment. So let's get stuck into tonight's big matchup and see if OneGodLike of Thailand can cause a shock, because if they're half as good as Cat Nino were yesterday, we could be in for a treat. It's Malaysia against Thailand. The Amigos, no question, will start red-hot favourites here. They are last year's Malaysian VPG League champions, and that's why they come into this tie as the seeded team. no pun intended. The team news is in, and there's been a couple of late changes, certainly on the side of the seeded team, Amigos. Let's go through that team news with you now and highlight some of the players that you need to keep an eye out for, because there are some prolific goal scorers in the ranks, particularly of the Amigos. Keep an eye out for Afi Fierro, 22 goals in 26 games. He is a striker in form. And the changes, by the way, just keep an eye on that defensive, because they've had to make some reshuffles late on to accommodate one person that couldn't sign on. So we've got Sakin there playing in the centre of defence with Irfan. Sharrell goes to left back. Max Nevis is there. And Grill comes in to replace Rio, who moves up to right forward. And they are, we are told, possibly making a change in the left striker role into the second half. As for OneGodLike, well, to a certain extent, they're unknown quantities. They've been going since 2018, the same time that Amigos came into existence, but they clearly haven't got the same role of honour in what's a very competitive marketplace in Thailand that the Malaysian side boast. But one player certainly to look out for is Dexlam. I've just been watching their warm-up friendly before we came live at 11 p.m. Singapore time. He's been in amongst the goals tonight already for OneGodLike. And the main man is Milky Way. 23 assists in 21 games. If they are going to make it happen, Milky Way is the player that OneGodLike have got to play through. And I must also mention, we're in the company of a bit of royalty here tonight as well with Rio, because he is the Malaysian manager as well as the manager of the Amigos, Rio Vox, who you see there. I'm being told the players making their way out on to the pitch at the Peace Stadium, where the first leg will be played. We'll be in Malaysia at the Amigos Stadium for the second leg. And we've had some turnouts, remember. Teams not necessarily making home advantage count. We're very shortly going to find out. Keep the comments coming, and don't forget to like, share, follow, and comment. Great to see so many of you with us so far tonight. We'll give as many shout-outs as we can throughout the course of the action, but you'll understand that my eyes are going to be focused on the floodlit stadium of the Peace Stadium, the home of OneGodLike in Thailand. Can they make it count, the home advantage against Amigos? We are going to find out very shortly indeed. From what I gathered in the friendly we watched earlier, OneGodLike will be playing in the French home jersey in the yellow. It is the default kit for the Amigos, who will be playing from right to left, and in the familiar French colours, OneGodLike playing from left to right. OneGodLike, they did score some good goals in those friendlies I was telling you about before the match, but they certainly were caught out a couple of times at the back. Milky Way, this is the danger man to keep an eye out on. Milky Way, good timing of the pass, finds Dexlam, their striker, but great defensive work from the Amigos, who managed to bring it away straight away. And now down this right-hand side come the Amigos with Rio and Izan, and that's great defending from what a name that is for a defender. Rock and roll life. Getting the defence in. Great to have Masin Jasuli with us. Balivran Singh, focus on Rock Killer Balivan. We've already seen what Rock Killer can do at the back. That's a very good point. And the Ultras Pro Esports fully behind the Amigos there on the Facebook page as well. Keep those comments coming. He's got a big fan base here, isn't he? The Rock Killer. The rock and roll life man playing left back. I think most of the play we see from OneGodLike is going to focus down that left-hand side that's occupied by Milky Way, who's certainly their assist king. But a game devoid of chances through the first virtual 10 minutes. Nyang Siu to Pipe Tect. Back to Ming Siu. The central defensive pairing showing a good understanding there. Here's Taimo Ops to this near side as they try and send it long. The flag's up here. That's going to be offside. That was careless from Izam, I think it was. They play the free kick short. Haven't seen much of Amigos coming forward yet. They had that one probe forward that Rock and Roll Life dealt with very well indeed. They're going to have some defending to do now, though. Oh, look at that for skills. Sensational stuff. Afi shots away. That's a stunning opening strike. Well, we hadn't seen much of them offensively through the first virtual quarter of an hour. But what a way to break the deadlock here. That was absolutely glorious. The skills down the left from Afiz. And a beautiful finish from Afi Fierro. And Amigos, the seeded team, lead 1-0 inside a quarter of an hour. We talked about Catnino's lethal finishing on Tuesday night. They just seem to get so much power, velocity behind the ball. Their timing was immaculate. And that was the case again here. Taimo Ops. Good pressing from Izan. who played a big hand in that goal with that sensational skill down the left-hand side, and they're coming again. This doesn't look good, does it, for OneGodLike of Thailand? Malaysia looking to book just their second spot in the round of 16 after Maximus got the job done, and that was way back in match night 5 when they beat Tasmanian Devils of Thailand by 2-1 in aggregate. So the Thais at the moment sick of the sight of the Malaysian teams. And that's good work. And out for a corner, I think, is it? Yes, it is. So a chance for OneGodLike to make a set piece count. They've shown nothing going forward so far. Shankit is over it. Decent cross as well, and it's headed behind. Taking no chances there was Fesserslem. So a second consecutive corner. The delivery on the first one was good. The delivery on the second one's decent as well. But it's headed away, and that's good, quick, crisp counter-attacking play from the Amigos. But Milky Way, the danger man's on it now. Milky Way, we know he can thread the killer passes through, not on that occasion. Rock and Roll Life, the man with the fan club out there on the Facebook comments page. To Taimo Ops. Hieng Siu. Oh, lovely skills. They're just very comfortable, aren't they? Heng that time. Afi Fierro dropping deep. They've certainly had some positional changes as to what was advertised, and they're in again here. Izan, and the best that the boys of OneGodLike can do is send it behind for a corner. The Amigos at the moment bossing this as we pass the midway park in the first half. If you're just joining us, it's Amigos of Malaysia in this first half for the first leg in the yellow, playing from right to left. OneGodLike of Thailand in the French strip, playing from left to right. Here's Izan, he looks dangerous, doesn't he? He's pound Afiero, and that's good, solid defensive work from Pipetect. Well, to their credit, they do look a little bit vulnerable at the back, OneGodLike, but they are not completely devoid of ideas coming forward. That needed a decent interjection from Dawas there, the left midfielder, to dispossess them as we approach the half-hour mark. My oh my, Rock Killer is very, very popular on the Facebook comments page. Shout out to Daniver Shell Anugbong. And if you are just joining us, a reminder, very happy Ramadan to all. I hope you navigate the fasting month safely, with obviously the restrictions for most of our Muslim brothers and sisters all over the world, never mind just Southeast Asia. Nice work from Dexlum. Now, can they get it going here? Dexlum, the striker's having to drop very deep. We've seen nothing of Geolish yet. Milky Way's the man. Rock and Roll Life is in a very advanced position, and that's all well and good, but if they get dispossessed here, playing this flat 4-4-2, OneGodLike could always find themselves in trouble. And so far, the defence of the Amigos is stood absolutely firm. Pipetect. Good work from Nam Kang. This is better. Milky Way, they're kicking possession. This is the best period of continuous possession they've had in the game, and Milky Way's the danger man. Look at that pass. But Irfan alive to it, but Milky Way's dispossessed him. Now Milky Way into the area. Can he get the cross? And he's got players up there, and they'll have to make do with a corner, but the pressure's starting to tell, as we might have a buffering situation here. Thankfully, only momentarily. The EA service doing us proud over the last couple of match weeks. Corner, Sanakid. Pipe perfect looking for it. And away it goes as we edge towards first half, but they're enjoying some good possession here, OneGodLike. They level this up, but it looks a completely different story, but they've lost out there. And now they'll have to be on their guard, because this man, Izan, has looked very, very dangerous indeed. Afi Fierro into the area. No one's near him. Afi Fierro finds the support. How on earth? How on earth have they let them score like that? The keeper holds his hands up. Kung Fluke. Bitterly disappointing for OneGodLike, just after they were showing a great concerted spell of pressure. Faisal Siem was never going to miss from there. And right on half-time, the killer blow comes from the Amigos. The Thais will have to come from 2 down. They've still got, though, 135 virtual minutes to find a way back into it. The work from Afi Fierro, he put it on a plate to Faisal Siem. And Amigos showing their class here. This is why they're the Malaysian defending league champions. Taimo Ops. And let's make no mistake about it, I think this is a question of they're just playing excellent FIFA against a strong Thai team here, because OneGodLike, they've kept possession well enough, but they just not got the skill sets that the Amigos have, and surely they're not going to get. Is it going to be 3 on the stroke at half-time? They just prevent the corner, and that will take them to half-time. Well, they concede that second goal at the worst possible moment. Fesalam getting on the end of their Afi Fierro square ball. Should be noted, there may be some connection issues in Malaysia and Thailand tonight because some of the players lining up, certainly in changed positions, and it was Douse, to clarify, not Afiero. Douse in that 14th minute opener. I'm giving the credit to that for Afi Fierro, and that's something we definitely must credit to Douse, because that was a stunning finish. As we hopefully have a chance to look back at the highlights at the end of this game. Now, the big question now, of course, is what can OneGodLike do? They're playing that flat 4-4-2. They're not having any problem getting possession, and they've had a couple of forays into Amigos territory, winning those couple of corners, but they haven't made them count. 3 corners in total. The delivery was fine, but look at that shot accuracy. If you can play like OneGodLike are playing against a team like Amigos, only faced 2 shots, but they're both conceded, you know you're playing against a top team. And the possession stats as well. I remember asking Nitin earlier in the tournament, just like the real game, possession doesn't necessarily correlate into chances and goals scored in real life football and in FIFA as well. And they made those 2 opportunities count. 2 shots, 2 goals, as we join the second half in progress at the Peace Stadium with OneGodLike with it all to do. Aslim Rios says, where's the cool dude with them coloured shirts at? It is a bit duller without him, I agree. I need him holding my hand on some of this stuff. And he's missing a cracking game as well. I'm sure he's watching at home and enjoying this superb play from Amigos. Corner to be taken for the Amigos by Rio Vox. They scored 2 goals in the first half. And we wait for the delivery here. It's the outswinger. They've gone for something they've practiced at the training ground here. And there is space for Izan. Gets a shot away, but it's blocked. Now into the area. And hacked away by Trio Ops. Izan, lovely skills. He's at it again. Izan's skills created the first goal. They can't get near him. It's bamboozling stuff. And finally, I think it was Sanakit that managed to get it away. But they are struggling, and they're pressing high now. Amigos, 1 more goal in this second half, even before they go to Malaysia for the second leg. And if you stick a fork in this one, folks, it will be done. Nice working. Oh, he's onside. Has he judged the run to perfection? He has. The cross comes in. And I thought for a minute it might be an OG, but they head it behind for the corner, which under the circumstances was their best possible outcome. I think this is only their first corner of the game, Amigos, unless I'm much mistaken. They were 3 for OneGodLike in the first half. They need to bring Milky Way back into this game, OneGodLike. The Amigos, the swerve and the swivel they get on those outswinging corners is sensational. Here's Grill. Grill trying to find Izan. Sanakit with the throw. OneGodLike yet to really get out of their own half in this second half. We've already played 12.5 virtual minutes of it. Trio Ops. Difficult to really see what they could do different in the second leg. OneGodLike. We are told that they've got AEK Jart and Snash standing by to play in the second leg. Surely they'll have to throw them in to see if they can make a difference. As the Amigos come in again. Well, that was audacious. Maybe he thought he saw the goalkeeper out of his area, but that's easy for Kong Fluke in goal for the Thais, who come again. They've not created as much in this second half so far. Rock and roll life, though. Can't find a way through. And now Rio X with a lovely ball through to Fiezam. Lafiero. They're in again here. They just keep in possession so brilliantly in the final third. Trio Ops finally helps break the move down, and Sanakit, who's had more touches than any other of the OneGodLike player, brings it away. Nice ball down that left-hand side, or right-hand side, I should say, left as I look at it. Possession that they need to turn into a clear-cut opportunity. Hardly anything for Rock Killer to do in the Amigos goal so far. Rock Killer and Rock and Roll Life lining up. They're heavy on their rocks, are the boys from Amigos. Played inside. Dexlam, oh, that was a sloppy touch from the Thai centre forward. And the Amigos are in again here. Well, if they get a third goal, there's surely no way back for the Thais. Haven't really forced Kong Fluke into a serious save in this second half now, but that might be about to change before Pipe Tech gets it away. Final 20 minutes of this first leg. Remember, we'll go to Malaysia, to the Amigos Stadium for the second leg. Who's going to line up to take on VM Brothers on Thursday, the 14th of May? At the moment, you'd bet the mortgage on it being the Amigos to become only the second team from Malaysia after Maximus to qualify for the round of 16. Incidentally, Causeway clash on the way on Saturday with X-Force United of Malaysia up against Shapeshifter. And speaking of Causeway clashes, it was great to see Joel Chu and Amran Ghani in the Stay and Play Challenge run by the respective Football Association of Singapore and the Football Association of Malaysia. Singapore coming out on top of that one. They play Japan in a big game tomorrow. I think there's a game for Malaysia against Chinese Taipei that may even be going on as we broadcast here. The best of luck to all of the pros and pro gamers that are playing in that Stay and Play Challenge. Here, it's the Amigos that are the pros, and the shot comes in. I thought for a minute Kong Fluke was going to dive the wrong way, but he got down well enough. So no goals in this second half to add to the 14th minute stunning strike from Douse. And the second goal scored by Faisalem just before half-time that have put the Malaysians in the driving seat. Can they score right at the end of normal time here? Inside the final virtual 10 minutes, and Kong Fluke was forced into a brilliant save as they tried to catch him out at a narrow angle. Now, Dexlam is injured, so it goes from bad to worse for the Thais. One of their main striking threats is out the way, and we've hardly seen anything from their star man Milky Way in this second half, and that's to the credit of the Amigos as Rio X comes in again. Rio X twisting and turning. Taimo Ops, how many times has Taimo Ops come to the Thais' rescue? Look at that strong, strong challenge. And Douse, the scorer at the opening goal, can come away with it. Here is Sharil. Lovely work. Good defending from, was that AEK Jart? He might have got a late call up for the first leg as well as being down to play in the second. Rio X. Inside to Faisalem. Here's Grill, straight at Sanakit. Grill have to do better, but he will get a second opportunity. Douse down the left-hand side. Rio X twisting and turning. Douse was offside, so he had to play on there. And Taimo Ops, not for the first time, gets it away. Well, looks like it's just going to be the 2 goals in this first leg, but surely on the evidence of what we've seen, OneGodLike are going to have to come on a bundle to try and turn this game round in the second leg. And tellingly as well, the Amigos have enjoyed much greater possession in this second half than they did the first, when of course they only had, I think, 33-34% of the possession, but still managed to score twice from 2 shots on goal. And is this going to be a last corner to defend? No, goes out for a goal kick. So I think if I'm OneGodLike now, I'm just trying to make sure we get to the end of normal time without conceding again, bearing in mind they fell to a sucker punch right at the end of the first half. Rock and roll life as they play it out. And it's the Malaysian away supporters that are cheering here at the Peace Stadium. The home fans don't like it, but it's the seeded Amigos. My friend Yusuf from VPG said it was a 2 out of 5 chance of a shot. I think he'd say probably 0.5 out of 5 chance for a shot now. It's just so difficult to see. They didn't play particularly badly. Maybe the flat 4-4-2, they could mix that up a little bit and go a little bit more attack-minded, maybe playing with some wing-backs. But they just didn't have enough going forward against a rock-solid Amigos team. And already, if Amigos do get through, that battle against VM Brothers on Thursday, the 14th of May, is one that potentially could be savoured. We'll have a look back at the highlights and have a look out for this Douse goal. It was so sudden, such a stunning strike out of nowhere. I initially accredited it to Afi Fierro. But the keeper's absolutely no chance here, Kong Fluke. All he can do is fall flat on his backside. And by the time he hits the deck, the ball's hit the back of the neck. And that was in the 14th minute. Worth another look, this. Marvellous work from Izan it was. Down that left-hand side for the second. And it was Faisalem with a lovely celebration to boot. Not too sure about the Roberto Baggio haircut, though. Narrow angle, good save. Kongflute did come to the rescue, and I think that's about all she wrote in terms of match highlights. Again, in the first half, they played some pretty football, the Thai boys of OneGodLike, but they didn't capitalise on that possession to turn into chance. And as Nitin always says, possession doesn't get you anywhere in FIFA, and as you can make it happen in the final third. So stay with us. We'll go to the Amigos Stadium in Malaysia for the second leg. You might think it's a formality, but we've seen some big surprises, none more so than that desperately close cash in the end between La Rojak and Katsuki on last Saturday, which eventually went to golden goal extra time. You just think, though, the concession of that second goal scored by Faisal Slem just before half-time is surely given the Thais too much to do. Not that Thailand need to worry too much at this stage, though, because they have provided quite a few of our round of 16 teams, and Malaysia, in fairness, do need some greater representation in the round of 16. So far for Thailand, 3. To the Moon, Hyenas and Cat Nino, and there's no team so far that's been impressive as Cat Nino were on Tuesday in that 7-0 win against Densetsu of Singapore. You've had 2 from Vietnam, Royal Cavaliers and VM Brothers, and of course Vietnam with not as many teams entered in this competition as other nations, and one thing's for sure, for them it's definitely quality rather than quantity, because anyone that saw the Royal Cavaliers on match night 1 will know they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. The 3 teams from Singapore are ones to watch, Tikataka and La Rojak, and as I say, just 1 from Malaysia so far. That is Maximus, but things are looking good for the Amigos to join them. Let's have a check-in and see what's happening here. Raiders VFC said, what's your prediction, Patrick? Well, Vaders, to be fair, I did ask Youssef for his prediction before we came in the studio, and he's not a million miles away as things are looking. He went for 4-1. To Amigos going into this. I think I mentioned that before the show. And the only thing I'd argue with that about is, where on earth is the OneGodLike goal going to come from unless they mix things up? And I'd be surprised if we don't see them go for broke in the early stages of this first half of the second leg that's coming up live from the Amigos Stadium. Aslin Rios is there. We've got Vaslin. He's coming back. The Giallo will be back. Don't worry. Knitting off poorly tonight. Lots of you are missing Knitting. Quite right too. And lots of you joining us. The numbers for this have been absolutely fantastic. And remember, spread the gospel according to the One Play Pro Club Challenge. It's all about like, share, follow, comment, LSFC. And as well as the One Play Pro Club Challenge to keep you occupied during these very difficult COVID-19 times, wherever you're watching in the world. One Play Sports is delighted to have teamed up with Sports SG to bring a strand of programming that's obviously intended for people in Singapore, but through the magic of the One Play Sports Facebook page, you can watch it wherever you are in the world. And some of the shows are fantastic. And I've just heard today, starting Monday, there's a new one coming up as well, which is going to be for the seniors in the community, which is great because I'm sure a lot of you staying at home, you've got your parents or your grandparents living with you. If you think they need to do a bit of exercise and they're being cooped up in the homes a bit too much, the show's going to be called First Light, and I've heard a whisper it's got quite a snazzy theme tune as well that might be worth listening out for. So that's First Light, 7:30 Singapore time, Mondays to Fridays. That's on for half an hour. There's a half-hour break. Then we get to Rise and Shine, which is that exercise program for the slightly more exuberant youth of today. That's on from 8:30 to 9:30. There's another break for half an hour. Then at 10 a.m, Kells, Kelly Latimer and Babs Latimer with you from 10 till 11 with a great magazine show. And lots of people have been enjoying that. They do some great things, all kinds of comedy segments, things you can help keep your kids occupied with during these tough times, because, of course, Kelly Latimer herself has a youngster that she's having to occupy during this period. The afternoon stretch as well. If you're one of those yoga types that likes to do your exercise in a more relaxing vibe, then the afternoon stretch is for you. And a great show as well if you need some help on what to cook. What You're Cooking is another show you can catch a couple of times a week. Have a look on the One Play Sports Facebook page. All of the schedule lineup is there. As you can see, we are now going pitch side to the Amigos Stadium. Can OneGodLike of Thailand pull off what would be the biggest comeback of the tournament so far? It's the Amigos playing from left to right. Now, this is a bit confusing because the Amigos are now in the blue. OneGodLike are in the white with the blue shirts, which is the French away kit, essentially, for OneGodLike. So don't let that confuse you. It's Amigos in the blue, playing from left to right. OneGodLike in the white, playing from right to left. And straight away, the Amigos going hunting for that third goal that would put this game to bed very early on. And they're going to force a corner inside the first 3 minutes. Didn't force too many corners, just a couple of them in the first leg. They look like they're going for the in-swinger here. Look at the movement in the penalty area. All kinds of shenanigans here. They look to me, the team, the Amigos, that could be pulling off something practiced on the training ground here, but that's a solid head away from Rock and Roll Life. A reminder, just to do a colour check, because in this leg, the Amigos are the team in blue. Oh, that pass, that was a very, very important interception from Aung Z there, I think it was. That's a good cross pitch ball that's found Dexlam, who was injured at the end of that first leg, but luckily he's okay now. Sahakit. Rio X just too good, and that's where they've dominated. Every time OneGodLike have got to the final third, the Amigos have stood up strong, and they just haven't had the creativity, not the skills to pay the bills in the final third so far, OneGodLike. But you never know. We've seen goals being scored out of nothing that have rattled teams in the past. Can they do that here? We've got an option on this left-hand side. It's rock and roll life up from the back, and the cross wasn't a bad one, but a solid header away from Enzakru. Here's Dexlam. Izan. Rio X. Oh, this is it. This is the football that the Amigos have really impressed with. They caught them with a sucker punch twice on the counter in the first half. This time tracking back is A.K. Jart, who I think played in that first leg. He's definitely on the pitch in the second. He was one of the alternates. Another corner. They're forcing pressure early in this second leg. Are the Amigos playing this second leg in blue? May even be the purple of Florentina from the angle I'm looking at. Good delivery, but Pike Techt has been quite solid at centre-back. It's the wings that have done the damage. The centre defenders haven't done too much wrong. They couldn't really stop Fesselslem scoring at the end of the first half of the first leg. Very difficult to pick holes in what they're doing. Keep the comments coming. Lufty Hadi is with us. Chow Tran says OneGodLike's passing is done well. I think it is, Chow Tran. You're quite right, but the trouble is they've got to turn it into something at the other end of the field, and they're defending at the moment. And we know they can hit from range, and their timing is perfection. Surely it's too far out to go for goal. The delicate chip, the flag stays down, went up late, and they're pinged for offside. So that particular training ground routine not going too well. Big hello to Iman Rosli, who's cheering on his friend Faisal in this. Ultra Pro Esports saying that Yon was the reason that Ankatsuki lost to La Rojak. If you haven't had a chance, by the way, to see that game from Saturday, that Causeway clash, you'll find it on the One Play Sports Facebook page. Just go down to Saturday's content. We've got highlight packages as well coming to you the day after these games, if you like the short form a little bit better. And we're also, after the end of each match week, putting together a goals of the week. And I'm telling you now that Dowse's goal, that stunning strike in the 14th minute of this one, will feature in the goals of the week. It was an absolute ripper. Our great man Vic that puts together the goals of the week and hopefully the saves of the week. When we get enough good saves, we'll be putting that into his little notebook. OneGodLike. Nice pass from Milky Way. Oh, they needed to get it back to Milky Way there. The star man with 23 assists in 21 games has just not been involved enough. And we're now already past the halfway mark in the first half of this second leg. And this is where they're so strong, Amigos. They can hurt anyone on the counter. Good defending that time, though, by Timo Ops. Milky Way, 95 is the man, says my dear friend Nicholas Child. He'd be more at home if he was calling racing silks. Nick Child, the race caller at Kranji Racecourse here in Singapore. Cross comes in, headed away. Of course, Kranji, like so many other sporting events, the horse racing affected by this circuit breaker as well. I'm sure they're hoping to get back into action come the 1st of June. And a reminder, if you are just joining us from Malaysia, I'm sure you've already heard, but the PKP measures in Malaysia extended by 2 weeks. So not the ideal start to what we hope is a blessed Ramadan month for all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Stay safe and stay indoors. Listen to what your government are telling you. Saka hit. This is better, by the way, from OneGodLike. That little bit of server issue for me has come at the wrong time there, because OneGodLike, they've had less possession than they had in the first half of the first leg, but they've looked a little bit brighter as the game jumps around just a little bit, but we're managing to not lose the flow too much. You can imagine how busy the EA servers are now with so many people stuck at home and playing Pro Club FIFA at home. Can they just find the breakthrough? They've not really troubled Rock Killer in goal at all. They might do now, though! What a save! Well, that was out of nothing. I thought he got a touch to it. He didn't. It went straight out. He just skewed it. I thought for a minute Rock Killer had got a touch there. That would have been down as a save of the week if he had done so. But it just whistled wide. And even that strike, as difficult as it was, illustrates just how good Dowse was in the first leg to score from about the same range. Difficult with the corruption in the picture to tell whether Rock Killer got a touch there, but I think he was beaten, you know, if that had been on target. Initially I thought he parried it wide, but the goal kick told a different story. Meanwhile, Chao Tran being a bit unkind verbally to the EA servers. Come on, let's bear with them, E-Tran. Nuthawat. Great to have so many of our Thai friends. If you're watching from Thailand, Sawadee Cup, hope you're safe in Thailand as well, which, like so many other countries, have got quite strict measures in force. Chao Tran I think he's talking too much now. He says my British accent's making the football sound sexy. I tell you what, I'd pay anything now to have Nitin's dulcet Singlish tones alongside me calling this as we go into the final 3 minutes of the first half. A goalless first half at the moment, but a first half that has seen Amigos do what they needed to do, and that really is just keep OneGodLike out. But can OneGodLike, 43 yards out, make something happen from a set piece? The Amigo boys have not put this tie to bed just yet. Dana Yaha says, go, go, go. I'm not sure which team he's talking about. I'm assuming it's Amigos as the flag goes up. And it's a free kick that will probably see us go into the break with OneGodLike no closer on the scoreline to clawing back the 2-goal deficit. But on the way they're playing, certainly an improvement. And have Amigos maybe put their cue in the rack here prematurely. They need a third goal on aggregate to kill this game off. They might just get it now if the flag stays down. The keeper comes and gets there, but Kongfluk makes a hash of it. He's miles out of his area. And that was a needed interjection by Aong Zi that does indeed take us to half-time. And it's a first half where you have to say OneGodLike on balance probably had the better of it. Now, they had the better of the possession in the first half of the first leg, but in this second leg, and you can see there's some encouraging signs there as the player manager goes off the pitch, trying to build his players up. But the stats will be interesting here. Looking forward to seeing the stats. Remember, 66% possession in the first half of the first leg, but they conceded 2 goals, being caught with killer goals on the counter-attack, the second just before the break. They have had plenty of possession, and they've looked like they're edging closer to a goal, but you've watched it. Tell me on the Facebook comments page, do you think OneGodLike have got it in them to get 2 goals to get back into this game? And remember, if Amigos get another one, they'll need to score 3, although in that scenario, the 3 goals would be enough to take them through. The possession, again, it's almost a mirror image in terms of possession, but crucially, they've managed to stop Amigos getting a shot on goal, and they've had that one shot themselves, albeit off target, but what an effort it was. Really could have been one of the goals of this tournament so far if it had gone in. So 45 virtual minutes between Amigos booking their slot to become just the second Malaysian team into the round of 16. Can OneGodLike pull off the shock and become the 4th Thai team through? If you are just joining us in this second leg, it's OneGodLike playing in the white, and they're giving it up here. Was chasing it down. Afi Fierro couldn't quite get there. Yes, OneGodLike in the white, playing from left to right. It's the Amigos in the blue/purple, playing from right to left in this second leg. If they're playing in purple, I'm going to have to get my eyes tested. I think I am going colourblind, making the difference out on this monitor between blue and purple. It's tricky. Oh, he's gone down there. What's the decision? It's a free kick right on the edge of the area for OneGodLike, and Hafiz goes into the book to boot. Well, they're going down swinging here. A OneGodLike straight at the keeper. And it looks to me that there's a change in goal here for the Amigos as well. This is better. OneGodLike, well, arguably the better team in this second leg, as they were for large parts of the first half of the first, but they've got to make the breakthrough. The way they're playing, they get a goal now and still have 30 virtual minutes left on the clock. This game is perhaps not a foregone conclusion, and interesting as well that the Amigos have seemingly changed goalkeeper. Yes, just hearing from Yusuf of VPG, there is a goalkeeping change. The goalkeeper didn't do anything wrong there, but he's not truly been tested. And that's the story of OneGodLike, looking very good and pretty in possession and build up, but can they get the killer blow? Header comes in. And the new goalkeeper managed to get on it, but I tell you something, they get another goal, or a goal at least, OneGodLike here. This time might not be over yet. Remember, if it finishes 2-0 to OneGodLike in this second leg, we'll go to golden goal extra time. Rio X. Well, OneGodLike will be kicking themselves about the 2 goals they conceded, particularly that second goal right on the stroke of half-time in the first leg when Izam did the damage down the left-hand side. But they're not giving up here. Giolis. God, Anis, Nabila, Natasha saying, Halikium says support the Ols. UONS? Must be one of the players. Yankee, inside. Sanakit, linesman's flag is up here. But they've played on, so advantage being played, and the advantage came to nothing. So, OneGodLike, that goes against them. The Amigos, they can stick a fork in this one if they score from this, but great covering defending from Taimo Ops, who's had a great tie over the two legs. Here's Nankangs. Lovely ball from Nankangs. Now can we get Milky Way involved? Oh, Milky Way. So unlike him with a heavy touch, and it's out for a goal kick, and the clock is now becoming OneGodLike's enemy. Fessalam. Oh, good defending as well. But arguably, in terms of individual performances, you could argue that Rock and Roll Life and Taimo Ops have been two of the more impressive players on the pitch. But as it stands, they're going to be in the losing side. Since he scored the goal, we've hardly seen anything from Douse. But I think the Amigos might be just holding a little bit back here. Here's Dexton, great ball through, keeper comes, and they've scored, they've got one back. And all of a sudden, hold the back page of the Straits Times. Game back on here at the Amigos Stadium. OneGodLike have got the goal their place so thoroughly deserves. And it's Sanikaj, the right midfielder. And there are 20 virtual minutes where if they can get another one, we'll go to golden goal, extra time and possibly penalties. The Amigos, are they going to be sparked into action by that? The new keeper came and I thought he got his angles right, but somehow, Sanakit managed to find a way through. And this, folks, is most definitely game on. Let's go Amigos, says Daniel Yaha. I think they need some more support, Daniel, because the Amigos, I think they thought this game was over, and here's the goal scorer again, Sanakit. They're all over him, but cleverly not conceding the free kick. Great challenge again. How good has Taimo Ops been? I think he's been one of the best midfielding performances we've seen in the tournament so far. You have to say, on what we've seen in this second leg, they actually deserve to take this to extra time to OneGodLike. But again, the danger of conceding 2 goals at home is the Amigos only really need to score 1, and then surely this game is over. Rock and Roll Life. Ball down the left-hand side looking for the Milky Way man, but Infan does enough to bring it away. Rock and Roll Life. Well, Rock and Roll Life and Taimo Ops, if they do go out tonight, OneGodLike, it'd be such a shame we don't see more of them in the tournament. They've been really strong. Milky Way, we know he's capable of the moment of magic that could still possibly take this game to extra time as we now enter the final virtual 10 minutes. A virtual 10 minutes between Amigos and a date with the VM brothers. But what's this? Giolai looking for the support in the middle. It wasn't there, but they're all hands on deck now. The Amigos. Dexlam. Milky Way's there if they can find him. Oh, again, not for the first time down that left-hand side. It's the deft touch that was lacking. And is that all she wrote for Amigos? Remember, Yusuf of VPG's correct scoreline was 4-1 on aggregate. It's going to be closer than that. And at the moment, the shock-ometer's gone from 2 out of 5 to 0.5 out of 5 to now maybe offside again. I was going to say, if they were through there, it might have been 5 out of 5, the shock-ometer. Still, no seeded team has gone out in the round of 32. But few unseeded teams have put in the kind of shift that OneGodLike have in the second leg to try and turn it round. We saw Ankatsuki of Malaysia win their second leg 1-0 away from home to take the game to golden goal extra time, and should have really gone through in extra time. But OneGodLike, they'll be kicking themselves. They've just lacked that little bit of quality in the final third. Not to take anything away from the defending of the Amigos, and they've got defending to do here because Milky Way man is in. Great ball across the face, and they somehow slice it clear, only as far as the edge of the area. Dexlam going for the diving header again, and that was going to be optimistic, trying to score from there. It all comes down to how much time added on there'll be from the virtual referee. It's usually a guaranteed 2 or 3 minutes. They'll be hoping that number OneGodLike is as high as possible. And while they've thrown numbers forward, the Amigos, will they just run this into the corner flag? Did it go to play? No, it didn't. But the Amigos, you can tell they're rattled because they were just trying to run the clock down with that passage of play. No thought of trying to score a goal in this game. And Milky Way can't find the pass through. And for all I've waxed lyrical about Rock and Roll Life killer as the full-time whistle goes, let's give credit as well to Enzakru Irfan, the centre-back pairing of the Amigos, who've just about done enough. And I say just, look at that. 4 shots in the second leg to 0 in favour of OneGodLike. 3 of them on target, but crucially, only that goal from Sanakit to show for it, and it's not been enough to even take the game to golden goal extra time. Let's have a look back at the highlights if we can, because I'd love to see the Sanakit goal again, just to see how he managed to score from such a tight angle. They bossed the second leg from start to finish, but you've got to get it done over 2 legs, and it was that falling asleep, as we see that effort, that I thought had gone in the first half, but flashed just wide from Dexlam. You've got to get it done at home in the first leg. This was the goal. The keeper, who was a change from the first leg, I'm not sure he'll be looking back at that with too much pride, but nonetheless, Sanakit with an absolutely sensational finish. Well, there you have it. Our second Malaysian team through after Maximus. The reward for the Amigos is a clash on the 14th of May with us here on One Play Sports against the VM Brothers of Vietnam. I think we can check in and see how the updated bracket looks, actually, because that'll just confirm for you what we're trying to do now, which is, having filled up the left-hand side of the draw, you can find out what's happening on the right-hand side of the draw. Our dear friends at Facebook, they set up a tournament page as well. You can visit that for all the latest news and the latest fixtures that are upcoming. But there's confirmation. The Amigos go through by the finest of margins in the end. They'll be kicking themselves, OneGodLike, for their performance in that first half in Thailand, because after that goal just before half-time, the Amigos didn't score from 135 minutes of play, and yet they've still gone through by 2-1. Well, week 4 has still got plenty of action to come, because on Saturday we've got a cracker. The Causeway clashes haven't disappointed so far. I keep going on about, and I make no apologies for it, going on about La Rojak against Ankatsuki on Saturday. It was an absolute belter. And if this one we've got coming up for you on Saturday is half as good, we're in for a treat. And this time, the shoe is on the other foot, because it's the Malaysian team that has seeded X-Force United against Singapore's Shapeshifter. And I know Yusuf's in the control room here at the One Play eSports Spectrum. Yusuf, very quickly shout out in my ear, what's the shock chances here out of 5? He says 5 out of 5. The main man at VPG, Virtual Pro Gaming, when he speaks like that, you need to listen. A 5 out of 5 chance of a shock. Make sure you're with us on Saturday. Same time, same place, 11 p.m. A reminder of that great new show coming as part of our Sports SG programming, First Light. First Light comes to you starting from Monday at an early start, 7 a.m. If you've got seniors or the slightly mature type in your household and you want to help them get some exercise when they're cooped up in home,